Welcome to this ICF Slalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to our episodes covering the 2025 International Canoe Slalom and Kayak Cross season. Thanks for joining me. That was a thrilling climax to the ICF World Cup series with the double points race in Augsburg, Germany. Today I have contributions from Kimberley Woods from Great Britain, Anatole Delassus from France, Titouan Castryck from France, and Sam Lever from Great Britain. A quick analysis of the results. Classic slalom winners were Kimberley Woods from Great Britain and Anatole Delassus from France in kayak, and Kimberley Woods and Nicolas Guestin from France in canoe. Kayak cross individual winners were Lois Lever from Great Britain and Mathurin Mador from France. In the kayak cross head-to-head, winners were Ricarda Funk from Germany and Sam Lever from Great Britain. Great Britain topped the medal table with 4 gold, ahead of France with 3 gold and Germany with 1. Incidentally, that is the first time Great Britain has topped the medal table at a World Cup race since the opening race of the 2019 season at Lee Valley. I start today with Kimberley Woods, winner of the World Cup final in both K1 and C1. So Kim, casting your mind back to 2014, you won your first national championship in the UK Premier Division in C1. Can your mind reconcile that you have won the World Cup series not only in C1 but K1 too?
Yeah, 2014 seems quite a long time ago, and I was able to have loads more time at home as I didn't make the senior team that year. I think thinking back to then to now, having then won a World Cup series in C1, I came pretty close. In 2016, I was second behind Mallory. And then again in 2023, I think I was second too, behind Jess. So yeah, to have now finally got that overall is pretty cool, as you know, C1 has not really been my sole focus in and around two Olympic Games in my kayak. So to show that I can still be up there at the top, and yeah, it was a pretty surprising weekend to come away with 2 golds and yeah, take the World Cup series, not only in C1 as you said, but in K1. The K1's pretty special, so yeah, I feel pretty happy about that.
There has only been one other paddler who had won 2 classes in a World Cup weekend, Jess Fox. She has done it more than once and also won 3 classes in one World Cup weekend, K1, C1 and kayak cross. So you still have something to aim for.
There's actually been more than Jess Fox that's actually won a World Cup in both classes on the same weekend. Mallory Franklin did it in 2019, I believe, at the Lee Valley World Cup. So, but again, feel like a privilege to kind of be on those names and kind of stamped my mark, I guess, that I can do it in a weekend. The C1 was a little bit of a surprise, as I knew that there were faster times in there. But yeah, to have done that, I made the final obviously in kayak cross and came 4th. But again, to get the second overall was pretty cool, as I didn't medal at all in the head-to-heads for kayak cross this year at the World Cup. So, which was a little bit bittersweet, but to come away with that and yeah, the 2 titles in K1 and C1, I'm pretty proud of myself.
My apologies to Mallory. Kim is correct. Based on your recent race results, you appear to have greater resolve, strength and composure.
Yeah, after debriefing a little bit with my coach around the races, to then 2 weeks ago not have won a World Cup in kayak, to come away with 2 wins is pretty special. I think finding that composure at the right time is important. I was really close to it at the games last year, and yeah, never really kind of found that same kind of groove in the races post games. So to have done a lot of work over the summer, a lot of physical stuff, a lot of mental stuff, and kind of getting grips to my boat again and how I want to paddle and how I want to race. And I won those races exactly how I imagined winning a World Cup. So to go out there and do that, and I've always had a lot of strength and composure, but kind of finding that that nice smooth ride is what matters, and I'm really glad I did that. And when it matters most, just before a World Championships, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Penrith has to offer. Kind of feels like a second home now. I've been out there so much, and yeah, looking forward to going out there and seeing what happens and just finishing as high as I can, basically.
That was Kimberley Woods, winner of the women's kayak and women's canoe in Augsburg. She spoke to us from Lee Valley, UK. Next, I chatted with Anatole Delassus, winner of the World Cup final in K1. Congratulations on the World Cup race win in Augsburg. Your incredible tight racing in Augsburg was thrilling to watch.
Thank you for the congratulations. So I'm really happy with this World Cup season. I feel like I'm reaching my full potential in all my final win. And I feel very good mentally, and that's the most important thing for me. The rivalry with Benjamin and Titouan is going very well. We push each other, we regularly discuss technical points, and there is a lot of fair play between us. All three of us are passionate, hardworking, and competitive, so I guess it can only make for a good combination. Sometimes it's tough also, because if you are a little bit tired or a little behind, you can see it right away in the training. Coach Jonas helped a lot with that. He take time individually for find a solution. He's always there for push us to the next level. Now we are leaving for Australia on Friday. I'm really looking forward to being there. It's a place that I love, I really enjoy, and I feel strong on the course, so it's perfect. For me, all the counters will be reset to 0 when we will be in Australia. I'm going there forgetting the season and focusing only on the present moment. So we will see what can happen. We have a good team in all category, and I believe the French team can do great thing in Australia. So I cross the finger.
That was Anatole Delassus, winner of the men's kayak in Augsburg. He talked to us from Pau, France. Next, I spoke to Sam Lever, winner of the World Cup final men's kayak cross head-to-head. So Sam, congratulations on gold in Augsburg. I mean, you seem to have been so in control in kayak cross. Tell us from your perspective how that weekend went for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's easy to sit here and say, oh, it went really well. But there was definitely some planning that went into that with Campbell, and Joe was involved as well. Obviously he went out in the first round, but that was mostly due to a kind of unfortunate fault and just the way it happened. But I feel like together as a group we built a pretty good strategy with how we're going to work on the ramp, and we knew how important it was to get to the first gate with your bow ahead. And because there's such a big gap to that first upstream gate, you can kind of with the speed that Joe and I have, and that's kind of reflected in time trials, we can pull a gap to the first upstream gate, and once you've done that, we don't need much of a gap to get a sweep away. And if we get the sweep away in first place, you've basically won the round. So that's what the main focus was on. We had some backup plans and things for if that didn't go to plan, but thankfully I didn't need to use them. Plan A worked every time, which I'm quite thankful for. There's obviously some luck in certain moments, but definitely had that sort of plan and strategy for the ramp, and it just worked. And it's just one of those races and one of those days where it just sort of went my way, and yeah, I'm really, really thankful for that.
So is your focus different, obviously, for the time trial, which you've become, now World Cup winner for the time trial for the season, versus the head-to-head? I mean, is it a different strategy?
Yeah, I mean, the time trial is like way more hell for leather and focused on just the key points down the run. I think it's really important is the gaps on the downs as well as the ups. So you deliver the ups really fast, but you also have to be pretty precise with the strokes you're using and where your boat is all the way through the run. But in head-to-head, it's a little bit less precise. You've obviously got the practice from the time trial as well. but it's a little bit less precise on the downs. It's more just about those ups and those overtaking moments and the ramps and the ups, basically. That's kind of what head-to-head feels like. But time trials, just a little bit more detailed throughout the whole thing, I would say. It's also more of a known quantity, so a little bit similar to slalom in that sense. But when you're sat on the head-to-head ramp, I'm thinking about up to gate 1, but then after that, like, I could be in any situation. So it's just a little bit of a different mindset. The time trial, it's easier to feel more prepared for, I would say.
But I think, I mean, you training with Joe and Johnny on Lee Valley, which is big water as well. Yeah, I mean, presumably you benefit from training together from that sort of strength and stuff from Lee Valley.
Yeah, for sure. Working together as a 3, we literally did a session as a 3 the week before traveling to Tassin. And that session just kind of reflected how beneficial it is training together. Like, it was a proper bashing session, you know, big hits, big moves, tactical decisions. And we came away from that session quite impressed with how well it went, just the 3 of us, because usually it's 4 people in a cross round. So yeah, working together as a 3 is really good. I've been working with Joe now for like 2 years in cross, and I think we've both like developed a lot together. I think he's taking some stuff from my game. I've definitely taken some stuff from his in terms of speed and like the time trial stuff. Yeah, it's hugely beneficial. And another thing is that, as one of the coaches said to me yesterday in the airport, they said at Lee Valley, usually the ups that we set are pretty far down off the ramp, just naturally because of how kind of large Lee Valley is. It's usually a bit of a sprint to the first ups off of the ramp, and that was super similar to Augsburg. And I think some of that in training environment that we have in Lee Valley definitely benefited us in cross yesterday in Augsburg. The sort of longer length, little physical water. Obviously, Augsburg moves a lot faster, but that was a super similar environment to what we train on every day and, well, every week. And I think it kind of showed in the results that the team got.
But you, Johnny and Joe, I mean, you seem pretty closely matched. I mean, there's not much between you. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's probably must feel amazing to have come out on top for the season.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Joe wasn't there for the whole season. He wasn't there at the first 2 World Cups. But yeah, it's nice to come out on top. It's me this time, might be someone else next time. So I've sort of got to stay humble with that sort of thing. I can't really, label myself as the guy because it could be any 3 of us. I think it still is Joe, absolutely, out in front of us, even if he hasn't got the like head-to-head results. I think he showed with the time trial in Tassin that he's still the fastest, and in Augsburg, he was on to absolutely destroy me and Mathieu Amadore at the top, but he messed up an upstream gate. So yeah, definitely still got my eye on the fact that Joe is pretty dominant in cross, but it feels like I'm still chasing someone, which is a nice feeling for me. I like to feel like I'm sort of still pushing for a goal.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we've seen less of Joe this year, but yeah, I mean, we can't overlook the fact that he has been the world champion in kayak cross for the last 3 years in a row.
Yeah, world champion last 3 years in a row. Nearly won the Olympics, won the World Cup series like almost every year, and yeah, he's still got it. There's no 2 ways about that. We haven't seen much from him this year, but we'll see what happens in Australia and leading into next season. But Joe isn't going to go anywhere, and yeah, for people like me, Johnny, but also the other internationals, it's still someone to chase.
Okay, so let's talk briefly about the GB performance. So Great Britain topped the medal table, both at the Augsburg World Cup race and in the overall medals. I mean, there were medals on Friday and on Saturday and on Sunday for Team GB. So, I mean, that must have been an amazing atmosphere as you kind of all departed from Augsburg. Yeah,
there was a good amount of positivity flowing, that's for sure. Some people felt really good. It's always a little bit of an awkward balance, though. Like, as a team, you can do really well, but sometimes there's other people who don't do so well. And it's really hard if you go as some of the people that have been successful and sort of go in all bubbly and happy and cheery. It kind of makes the people that haven't done so well feel a bit rubbish. And it's almost impossible for all, I don't know what it is, 12 of us, I think it is, on the team to feel amazing at the end of a race. So it's not like a football team where you all succeed as one. We have been successful in general as a team, but there's still people who haven't been as successful. So I think we tried to keep it quite neutral in general. and kind of keep the expectations in terms of emotions quite low. So when it's bad, not everything's all glum and gleary, and it's not all doom and gloom. But also when we've had a really good day, like in Augsburg, it maybe isn't the sort of like party bus like you would expect. It's quietly positive, I would say. And that's the vibe I got from yesterday. It's quietly positive and it's quietly confident going into Australia. But it's not too over celebratory, just with the nature of how individual the sport can be.
I think that's a really nice thing to say. So, I mean, what does your week look like? So you're flying out to Australia next weekend. So, yeah. So what does this week entail?
This week, right now, it entails just enjoying myself for one day, kind of organizing my stuff, washing my clothes, getting my kit back in order. The boats arrive back tomorrow, so I'll get that all sorted when that comes. So just a little like few mundane tasks to do to get ready and organized. But the quicker I can kind of get my environment around me organized, then the more prepared I'll be to go to Australia and the better I'll feel when I land. So that's where my mind's at right now. Getting a takeaway for dinner tonight as a celebration. That's where my mind's at with today. I'm going to sit on the sofa. I'm going to watch a bit of like a Batman series on Sky. And I'm of course going to go training as well. I've got a kayak cross session tomorrow afternoon, some time trial work, and then on Friday I've got a head-to-head based session as well. So yeah, I've got more kayak cross training to come. Get back in my slalom boat as well. Work on my basics, my technique. That's where my mind's at with slalom at the moment. And I got a couple gym sessions in there as well. So yeah, the week's still looking busy, just making sure we're all prepared before going to Australia. And then, yeah, the day before I fly as well, I'm working at Arsenal FC. So I'll be at Emirates Stadium on Saturday for the Nottingham Forest game, just as a steward. That's kind of my side job because I'm an Arsenal fan, so I just love to kind of be part of the game.
Oh, that is so cool.
So that's kind of what my week looks like, with a bit of Arsenal to finish and then a Qatar Airways flight to Australia on Sunday morning.
Okay, so how many boats have you got? Where are they? I mean, you've got one boat that's en route in a trailer coming back from Augsburg. Presumably you've got a boat at Lee Valley, so if you'd wanted to paddle today, you could have done. Have you got a boat in Australia as well, or boats in Australia as well, or are they flying out?
Yeah, so it's kind of complicated, but right now I've got 3 slalom boats, although I'm selling one of them. So hit me up with offers if you want, and you're listening and you want my boat. But yeah, I've got 3 slalom boats. I've got 2 kayak cross boats. One of my slalom boats and one of my kayak cross boats is currently probably in like the Netherlands or something, on the way over to the UK. Either way, it left Augsburg last night. And then, what am I saying? So
have you got boats in Australia already, or?
Yeah, Australia. No, I don't have anything in Australia. The whole team's flying boats with the airlines we're going with. So we're going with Singapore and Qatar, and they've kindly said that they'll take our boats. So
you should all arrive at the same time.
Yeah, our boats will arrive at the same time, but fingers crossed nothing gets broken or left behind, and everyone can kind of hit the ground smoothly and running. For me, I've just got a plastic kayak crossboat going to Australia, so I can't really get broken, touch wood.
That was Sam Lever, winner of the men's kayak cross in Augsburg. He also talked to us from Lee Valley, UK. But before we leave Augsburg, there were many notable performances. We saw a podium finish for Ana Sattler from Brazil. Anatole and other spectators commentated that Nico Guestan's masterful run in the Augsburg final was on a par with legends Lugbill and Estonguet. Watch and judge for yourself. That final run appeared the closest one could get to that state of flow. So winners of the overall World Cup series for 2025 are Kimberley Woods and Titouan Castryck in kayak, Kimberley Woods and Nicolas Guestan in canoe, in kayak cross individual, Camille Prigent from France and Sam Lever, and then the kayak cross head-to-head, Ricarda Funk from Germany and Johnny Dixon from Great Britain. Finally today, I spoke to Titouan Castryck, winner of the overall World Cup series in men's kayak. So Titouan, congratulations on now being world number 1, Olympic silver medalist, and now 2025 World Cup series winner.
Yes, it has been a really good year so far. Only missing the biggest event of the year, so of course it was a good year, but it can the World Championships, of course, is the main focus, and on the federation perspective and for the national and like the government, if I'd like to say, perspective, if I'm not doing a good World Championships, it will not be a really good year. So all the focus are on that, and I'm really happy about this season, but I really need to have a good World Championships, and that's it.
We missed connecting after your Titouan race, where your finals run had an artistic, acrobatic flair to it.
And about Titouan, if it was my best run this year, it might have, but it was also a really short format with only like 70 seconds of racing, so I feel like it was really good, and the course was not that difficult, so I think it was a really, really good run for sure. But I feel like compared to, for example, this weekend in Augsburg, it was such a different race, so I hardly compare both of them. But yeah, it was a really nice run, maybe the one where I got the less mistake in a run this year, so I'm really happy about it.
What should we expect in Penrith later this month?
Of course, I'm going there for the win, but it's slalom, it's sport, we never know what can happen, but I'm gonna try to prepare as well as I can in those last 3 weeks, and try to just kick off this world with a good hit run, then goes to the semi-final and hopefully to the final. But so there is gonna be a really strong field as usual, and maybe even stronger than on the World Cup. People gonna really prepare well for this world, so I hope I will be as good as I could have been in Prague or in Titouan this year, and I really hope it's gonna go well for me and the team in general.
That was Titouan Castryck, winner of the overall World Cup series in men's kayak. He spoke to us from Paris, France. The international athletes are now arriving this week in Australia for training ahead of the ICF Canoe Slalom and Kayak Cross World Championships on the course in Penrith. Monumentous news from the sport is that world number 1, Jess Fox, announced, "For the first time in 15 years, I won't be on the start line at the World Championships. Unfortunately, I just won't be ready in time. I need to put my health and recovery first after surgery," she wrote. She is understandably devastated and went on to thank all her supporters. "We wish her a successful full recovery." Interesting fact, Jess had won the K1 and C1 at the Under-23 Worlds on her home course in Penrith in 2014. Thanks to my guests today, Kimberley Woods, Anatole Delassus, Sam Lever and Titouan Castryck. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people, send them a link, like, follow, or write a review. If you need more, keep reading Ettore Evaldi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. We are now preparing for the start of a series of short daily podcast episodes covering the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships in Penrith, Australia. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.